So she's a realtor, and she does all the real estate transactions. And that I already talked to you about. Now, Orange Coast Title, we do with Orange Coast Title to Christy Wright. You probably have your own title company. My short sale coordinators, a lot of people were asking me here, who do I use for short sale coordination? I use two. I use Ruth Chan and Rita Flood. I have reasons. It doesn't really matter, but sometimes I send a file to one and sometimes I send a file to the other, depending on the personality of the person that we're representing, because Rita, it's a little bit nicer and kind of like scaled down a little bit, and Ruth is a little bit more aggressive. So it really depends the type of person that I have. If it's a person that is really hard to get documents from this person or signatures or something, I send it over to Ruth, because Ruth will make sure that that person comes in the office and get things signed. You know what I mean, right? She's like, oh no, you gotta come here. You better come tomorrow. You have until 5 p.m. to be here too, right? Rita, on the other hand, she's a little bit more scaled down, like, oh, can you please come? Can you please bring me the documents? Kind of like that. So that's the reason why. Escrow, I have my own escrow officer. Maricela Rizarraga in my office, she does my credit background, credit research, of course, in the mortgage. Graphic design, Henry Zavalza, his information will be there. And my Penny Saver ad page, Shahir Quader, information is also there. You don't really need to write it because it's in the presentation, but if you want, go ahead and write it. So that's all the people. And for fast approvals, I have a 24-hour website that people can go and actually make an application online. Believe it or not, somebody asked me here. They say, well, I have people that I can refer you to do loans, but they live in far away. How do you deal with those? You did, right? I have closed 4 transactions in the last 6 months in which I haven't met the people face to face. Most of my transactions are done over the phone, over the internet. Scanned documents are fine. Mortgage financing, you have most of the documents in mortgage financing you can have scanned documents. They don't need live signature except for the application. And for that I have a FedEx account. I FedEx them the information where they need to sign with a label that they need to put on top and then send it back to me. Within 2 days I get the documents back. So I really don't need to meet with people unless they really want to meet with me. And yes, I will do house calls on a case-by-case basis. I try not to because it takes time. But I do house calls and wherever they ask me to be. So some people say, no, you really need to come to Corona. I'll go to Corona and meet with them. I got no problem with that, And we have a pretty good system going on because I do all the initial approvals for the people, and then I turn it over. Once they're approved and everything, I turn it over to my team, and my team takes it from there. So we have a really good system going on. Bonus training, 30 minutes. I'm not going to do it in 30 minutes because it's almost 4:30. We have 7 minutes to go. So I'm going to do it really fast. Door knocking for loan modifications. Remember I told you that I don't door knock. We don't door knock for short sales anymore because every time you go and door knock for short sales, what do you get? I don't want you here. Don't talk to me. I don't like you, etc., etc. So what we do is we try to do the appointments for the loan modification appointments, considering the fact that we turn around those into short sales on an 85% of the time. Question that you may want to say, well, my name is from Prudencia, California Realty or whatever company you represent. According to the county assessor's office, you have a notice of default, and I wanted to ask you, have you heard about the new loan modification program? And sometimes they say, well, I already hired an attorney to do a loan modification for me. And then you say, great, so you already have the answer to the 3 most important questions you must have. I ask like that, so you already have the answer to the 3 most important questions you must have. And then they say, what questions? Because they're like, what questions are you talking about? Well, question number 1, whether or not the loan modification is going to save you money. Question number 2, what is the income requirement to qualify? And question number 3, if you're upside down on your mortgage, how long is it going to take for you to break even or to even make a profit if you sell your property? I see most people out there, paralegals, attorneys, and so on, they don't even know the answers to these questions. I have a computer software or a computer program, if you want to call it, that within 5 minutes, I just sit down with you, within 5 minutes I can tell you whether or not you qualify for the loan modification, whether or not you're going to save money, and if you're upside down, how long is it going to take you for you to recover your value in your home? Well, I'm not interested. I know how you feel. But you must know the following. If you don't do this, what may happen is that you may get into foreclosure. If that happens, the bank is going to put a notice on your door telling everybody in the neighborhood that you're in foreclosure, and that will be embarrassing. I can help you avoid all of these things. If you just give me 5 minutes of your time, which day is better? Is it Wednesday or Thursday better? Is it 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. better? Well, I don't know. I still think that I shouldn't talk to you, etc., etc. Listen, let me make you a promise. And this is my promise to you. I promise you, if you don't like what I have to say, I will not bother you again. And that is my promise. So which day is better for you, Wednesday or Thursday? And you go from there. If you don't know the script as well as I know the script, you don't know it well enough. You know what I'm saying? You have to recite it exactly the same way. So you just have to practice, drill, and rehearse. Practice, drill, and rehearse. Internalize and memorize and make it your own. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Are you going to do it?
Yes.
All righty. And 5 stages of grief, denial. This cannot be happening to me. The bank will help us. We will not give up our home. If you hear those kind of comments when you're talking to people, you know in which stage they're in. This is the comments that I'm getting on each one of the steps that they're in right now. The next one, anger. Why me? The bank is not helping me. Agents are lying to me. No one is telling me the truth, and this is not my fault. Those are the comments that people make when they're in anger. Bargaining. Bargaining is, let's find some help, let's talk to our friends and family. Bargaining is the process where they're most vulnerable, because this is where they start talking to people that get bad advice. They start getting bad advice from people. They start paying people $3,000, $4,000 up front for things that are not going to work. You understand what I'm saying? This is the most difficult one. Depression. Feeling of hopelessness, frustration, bitterness, self-pity, mourning of the hopes and dreams of the future, feeling lack of control, feeling numb, there's no solution in sight, and acceptance. They get help. This is not the end of the world. You can get over this. You will survive. You can get them to this level. Because see, this too shall pass. As I always say, this too shall pass. The feel of pain after loss is normal. It proves that you're alive and that you're human. But you can't stop living. We have to become stronger, and sometimes we even become stronger by helping other people. So let me ask you this question. Who do you know that is going through the same problems? So I can talk to them. And that's how you get referrals, with this script right here. Okay? And that's fantastic. Now, let me tell you this script right here, because I have 3 minutes to go, and I promise to get you out of here by 4:30. Do you want me to tell you one advice that is going to double your production? Yeah. 2 advice that is going to double your production. Would that be okay with you?
Yes.
Are you sure now?
Yes.
All right. 2 pieces of advice that is going to double your production. We were sitting in a listing appointment, a short sale listing appointment with my wife. We already talked to them over the phone, and they already agreed to do the short sale. So we came to their house, and we had all the forms and everything, and my wife is doing the presentation, and she finished the presentation. At the end of the presentation, they signed the agreement. Make sure that they sign the agreement before you do this. And then my wife turned to the husband and said to the husband, who do you know that, this is the question, we listed the property, and she said, who do you know they may want to buy this house? Who do you know that may want to buy this home? Do you know that 70% of homeowners know somebody that may want to buy their home? And you can double end that transaction at that moment? You can double end the transaction. That's double the income with half the effort, really. Who do you know that may want to buy this home? Then the guy said, you know what? I have my friend who came here for Christmas for our party, and he absolutely loved the home, and he said he actually was looking to buy in this neighborhood. I think my friend could buy the home. And then my wife says, can you put me in touch with him? And then the guy said, really funny, the guy said, oh, sure, I'll do that. And my wife looked at him and said, right now. And the guy is like, oh, you mean right now? And she's like, yeah, right now. And the guy, okay, fine. So he walks to the phone, right, and starts calling his friend, right? And then my wife turned to the wife now and says, because wives, they talk to each other. We men, we really don't share this type of things, right? Wives talk to each other. And my wife says, who do you know that is in distress or that is going through the same situation as you? And she says, as a matter of fact, my neighbor across the street, they're being in default for 3 months. And my wife says, can you put me in touch with them? And she says, sure, I'll tell them to call you. And she says, no, right now. And she's like, okay, well, let me do that. And so she's walking across the street while the husband is on the phone with his friends, right? And we're just sitting there, just drinking water. And then she brings the couple from the other house, and we have to do another presentation. And we walked out of that room with 2 listings and 1 buyer.
Wow.
In 1 presentation. Just because we asked the question. Just because we asked the right questions. Who do you know that may be willing to buy this house or may want to buy your home? Number 1. And number 2, who do you know that is in the same situation as you? And you only need 1. You only need 1 referral. I know people refer me sometimes 3 and 4. As a matter of fact, it's funny. Oscar called me yesterday. And he's like, Ronito, he calls me Ronito. Ronito, I've been trying to reach you for like 5 days. I listened to his message last night around 10 p.m. I'm going to give him a call today. I've been trying to reach you for like 10 days. Where are you? I need you. I need you. I have 3 people that are losing their home and they need you. Please call me, call me. So I'm going to call them today and see what happens. This is the kind of messages that I get because I get people used to the idea of referring me people. I always tell them, there's 2 things that I always tell people. Number 1, let me be the only source of information for you. Any questions that you have, I don't care, day or night, weekend or weekday, you call me and ask me, and if I have the answer, I'll give you the answer. If I don't have the answer, I'll find out for you. Let me be the only resource of information. Sometimes I even tell my consumers, they don't call me Google Ronnie for nothing. That's the number 1. And number 2, get people used to the idea of giving you referrals. If you know somebody that is in distress, if you know somebody is planning to buy or sell a home, if you know somebody that is planning to refinance a home, tell them about us, tell them about me, or better yet, get their permission for me to call them and call me back with their information. As a matter of fact, for some of you that got my business cards, I don't know if you had the chance to read the back of the business cards, and the business card says, I came up with this mission statement, by the way, this is mine. I'm going to copyright it. Nobody take it. And it says, our mission statement, it says, to make of every prospect a client, and of every client a friend. To provide the best mortgage advice and service, to earn your trust and referrals. The best compliment we can receive is a referral. Tell your family or friends to call us, or better yet, ask permission for us to call them. And I give them a 24/7 referral line at 888-626-2928 extension 411. So they can call me any day or any night and just leave me a message and leave me a referral in the voicemail. If you don't ask for it, you will not get it. The Bible says, ask and you shall receive. So this is the end of the training. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. Thank you.